House to his new home as the head coach of the DePaul Blue Demons in Chicago for the first Big East game of the year. It's Providence into Wintrust Arena to take on DePaul, who got off to a 7-0 start before taking their first loss against Texas Tech. We're so glad you're with us with Dickie Simpkins. I'm Connor Onion. DePaul off to the straight start behind their three-point shooting. Outside of that, why have they been so good?
Well, Coach Holtman has brought in this new style of play. Very exciting. He went out and got three-point shooters. They're shooting almost 40%. They're getting up and down. They're giving the fans something to see, and it's been great.
And with three-point shooting in mind, let's take a look at our deep starting lineups. They make a change in the DePaul starting lineup tonight. Jacob Meyer makes his second start of the year in there for Layden Blocker. But tonight about Bryce Hopkins. He's back home. Chicago kid. Bunch of guys from Fenwick here to see him tonight.
Yeah, preseason, first team, Big East. Coming back after 11 months of not playing based off his injury he had. But he's picked up with his production. 16 points already in the first two games. Producing. And it's been a big difference for this Friars team.
Well, the only show in town in the Big East this week. We are underway. Providence and DePaul. The only conference game on the schedule tonight, and until next Tuesday. It's Providence touching at first, 6-4 start. They went 5-0 to open, have lost 4 of their last 5, and it's Hopkins opening it up with an outside hit.
Well, the Friars were missing that 15.5 points a game that Bryce averaged last season, and he came and picked up where he left off. He has been practicing with the team and performing well. His first game against BYU came out and had a great outing, and you see him picking up where he left off.
And a walk for DePaul. They turned it over with David Skogman, led by Chris Holtman, who showed his team on the video stream when they were watching film today the preseason rankings in the Big East. They were picked last. That was a reminder to his team what they have to prove to the rest of the league.
Well, Coach Holtman has been a Big East coach before. One of 3 coaches to coach multiple Big East teams in this conference ever been done. Coach Holtman, Butler, and now DePaul, Patino with St. John's, Providence, and Louisville. And you see Kim English.
It was a very spirited shoot-around for Kim English. He got after it a little bit. We can get into that as we get deeper tonight. As Skogman lines up a 3 and knocks it down.
Skogman is a stretch big. You call him a stretch 5. He can bring the defense out. Capable pick and pop shooter. Right there, just available, open, and knocking it down.
It's good to see for him. He's been dealing with sickness most of this week, but good to go tonight. Expected to play to his max, to his full minutes after coming back from flu-like symptoms. Down to 5 on the shot clock for Hopkins. Spinning his way in on D'Amico. Got to get one up. It's Cardette for 3. Back heel, rebound for Meyer.
Well, that's what you want Hopkins to do. He's going to be able to create a bunch of mismatches in this game versus bigs versus smalls. But he also has to be aware when the double team comes to make the pass.
And a hand check on Joseph on the drive for Connor Enright. Well, Providence has made a habit of getting off to good starts in the Big East. DePaul has not won an opener since 2014 in the Big East.
Yeah, it'll be interesting tonight because Coach Holtman is 0-3 in his openers as a Big East coach when he was at Butler.
So another streak there for DePaul to try to snap tonight, including 32 losses in a row in the regular season in the Big East. That's a little heavy for Rivera. An opening shot for Hopkins went down. Providence trying to crack the seal with Pierre, and that's short.
And both teams will try to look to get an advantage in transition and try to get a quick bucket.
And back to Enright for 3. And a cool start from outside for DePaul. And here's Hopkins pushing it. Extra pass for Joseph, and he got it.
And that's what Coach English is looking for from his Friars, to get out and find easier opportunities in transition. And one way to do that is the luxury of having Bryce Hopkins, who can rebound and push out and make plays in transition.
Dickie, are we going to see a 2-point shot tonight?
Well, both teams do launch up threes. DePaul shooting at a 39% from behind the arc.
Then Wright and Joseph came together and knocked out with 5 to shoot. Yeah, we have not seen a 2-point attempt yet, more than 3 minutes in.
Well, you're talking about last game, DePaul getting up 35 threes in their last outing. And Providence got up 23s in that loss to University of Rhode Island the other day.
Our first 2 of the night is a dunk. Skogman rocks the rim.
And that was able to happen because Rivera, an excellent shooter, drawing the defense to him to help on the drive. And Rivera finding a nice bounce pass to Skogman right in the paint.
He has all 5 points. Meyer with the tap away, but Cardette runs it down and throws it to the Providence bench. Well, we asked for a 2-point try. We got a 2-point try.
Well, Rivera right here playing the baseline on the drive. The help side comes. Nice bounce pass. The lack of the help from the weak side by the Friars leaves Skogman wide open for the dunk. Nice pass by Rivera. Connor, this DePaul team is very good on that passing. They get the paint touches, and they look to spray or look to drop off to their bigs.
They share it well. They shoot it well. Skogman not here.
Well, you can see Coach Holtman right now is taking advantage of the matchup Skogman has with Kreese, Swandako, trying to get Skogman 3-point shot opportunities.
Now extra pass for Hopkins. Closeout game. Cardette with a 3. It rattles down.
Good job right there with the Friars sharing the ball. Hopkins making the extra 1 more pass to Cardette. We have a lot of Chicago action going on here with the Friars. 2 guys from Chicago. Cardette played at Chicago State. So we got a lot going on in town with some of the Friar players.
A Chicago color commentator.
Yeah, that is true. A former Chicago Bull, played by TV analyst. We got a lot going on here with Chicago.
Yeah, 3 guys for Providence that have homecomings tonight, including this guy, Hopkins, heavy on the left, and it's out to DePaul. That was the first 2-point try from Providence. It's been mostly 3s to begin, including Cardette extending the lead for Providence.
Well, Hopkins finding his teammate with the extra 1 more pass. Cardette locked and loaded, knocked down 3.
Sunday on Fox. Check for the games in your area.
Well, Bryce Hopkins wearing the same school colors, same mascot as he did in high school here in the Chicagoland area at Fenwick High School, where he set the single-season scoring record at the same school that Corey Maggette played at. That's good company. Hopkins has 20 tickets out tonight and many, many more that bought tickets to see him back in his home city.
Yeah, he's back home. Family, friends, fans here to support him. We're talking about a kid playing in that Chicago high school, talented crop of basketball players, a high performer. This is a kid that went to Kentucky first and didn't see a good fit, but found a fit here in Friartown, and unfortunately had an injury, but has come back and looks like he's back in action and moving pretty well.
In the last 2 years, Providence is winning about 70% of their games when he plays, 500 team when he doesn't, and they have an early lead, but a turnover out of the first time out.
The Friars tried to have a lob play for their ATO after timeout, but good defense by DePaul.
And subs in for DePaul with NJ Benson in the post for the first time. CJ Gunn also in there to guard. He gets it up, can't hit. And a rebound for Abdur Rahim.
When C.J. Gunn comes into the game, Coach Holtman tries to get him a look right away. He's a scorer. High-energy offensive player.
Both teams got a little bit longer at that spot with Abdur Rahim coming in and Gunn coming in as subs. A dangerous 3-point shooter. Abdur Rahim can't hit his first.
And he's a guy that they need to be automatic when he comes to the game. He came off a great performance against BYU a couple of games ago, knocking down 3s.
Oh, Gunn turns it over, trying to funnel it in for Benson.
Good D by Corey Floyd Jr.
And he has the take, cut off, and they rack it back out for Pierre. Yeah, Abdur Rahim, you called that game against BYU. That was his best as a Friar so far, and the leaner goes for Pierre.
Jaden Pierre taking over the scoring absence of Devin Carter last year. Jaden Pierre, the leading scorer on his team. He can get to the paint, he can score, and he's an improved three-point shooter.
He's got the assignment on Meyer, the top scorer for DePaul. Can't break free yet. Offensive rebound gun. Can't stick that back.
But you can see the pace of the game, Connor. Both teams are very energetic offenses. They try to get to the paint, they try to attack, and they try to shoot the first available shot.
And Pierre again, back-to-back makes. And a timeout for Chris Holtmann. He stops it with Providence out to a 13-5 start in the Big East.
Jaden Pierre becoming a more offensive threat now that he's a starter and one of the go-to guys on his team. You see the attack, but the hesitation to make the defenders go by him for the easy bucket. And then right here, hey, I'm looking for guys, nobody's there. Mid-range pull-up J. And this is why Jaden Pierre is the leading scorer on his team, averaging 12 points a game and almost 3 assists, shooting 43% from 3.
Wendicki, he's a guy that not only has to score, but Kim English talked to us today about their organization in the half court. A lot of that's on Pierre.
Yes, and he takes on the added responsibility of that point guard position of being a scorer, but also a playmaker. But most importantly, as he continues his maturation process as a leader, that is the big part. As he continues to grow as a leader and controls this team and directs guys, and they look to him, the better the Friars are going to be as the season goes on. And he's improving in that area, Gunnar. I saw a big step in his leadership skills in that BYU game, him stepping up, controlling the game, and leading his teammates.
Chris Holtmann just told his team what in that DePaul timeout.
We're getting quality shots, but we're not locking down defensively, keeping the Friars out of the paint. And one of the keys, or one of the formulas for success with DePaul was going to be their one-on-one defense today.
Looking for a drought snapping bucket. Blocker has it knocked out of bounds. 7 to shoot for DePaul.
Blocker came out of the starting lineup. He's a dynamic combo guard. Looks to store and attack the basket with his athleticism. He came out of the starting lineup to put Jacob Meyer, who's the leading scorer, who was coming off the bench.
And DePaul has missed their last 6 shots, getting late in the clock, and that is rejected.
Security.
Arun Sayer calling security. Benson can't get it back. Arun Sayer flies in to stick it home.
And that's what Coach English is looking for the freshman. Arun Sayer, his ability to protect the rim, run the floor, and finish at the basket with lob dunks and drop-offs, which he just did.
Oh, what a sequence. Back-to-back trips for Arun Sayer. Open 3. It goes to stop a 4-minute scoring drought for DePaul.
And that's one of the things that Coach Holtmann has been able to see the development in Trainer. He's becoming a capable shooter, more accurate shooter with his athleticism.
Joseph doesn't pay it back. Rebound for Trainer.
J.J. Trainer is the X factor for this DePaul team because of his versatility offensively and defensively.
And right slides in. Benson into the body. 2 more.
He wasn't going to get the block shot that time. He used his footwork, he used his body, and his touch to avoid getting his shot blocked and a nice finish.
Paul answers with 5 in a row of their own and a travel for Abdur Rahim. But the highlight of this first Big East game was Oswin Arun Sayer on both ends.
Arun Sayer showing his ability to protect the rim, the security and defense, and then following up for the finish above the rim. Friars up by 5.
There's only one with Dickie Simpkins, Connor Onion. Providence leading it by 5 at the under 12 of the first half. Let's go inside the DePaul huddle with head coach Chris Holtmann.
Okay, listen, good response right there. Okay, good response. Okay, great one more right now to JJ. Okay, they want to, we don't want to take a ton of those non-rim 2s right now, so that's a great drive and kick. We got a great 3 for JJ. Okay, our push in transition right now offensively has to be better.
Coach Holtmann just addressing the style of play that he has brought to the Blue Demons basketball program. getting out in transition, got to get better. But right now, he's pleased with how they responded to the Friars' attack offensively with their one more pass and their driving kick, or what you would call driving spray, which get J.J. Traynor an open three. You heard him, Connor, you heard him talk about none of those non-rim twos.
Well, they might reconsider some rim twos with the way that Arun Sarah's blocking shots right now.
Well, when he's talking about non-rim twos, he's meaning if it's not a layup at the basket, let's kind of stay away from the mid-range jump shots. That's non-rim twos, and stick with attacking the rim or shooting threes.
Analytically friendly shot. Contested one for Meyer. He airballed it. Cardette in his face. That's what he's getting at, right? That's where the shots usually come from for DePaul. They're third in the country in making threes.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting 12.5 made threes a game, like I mentioned earlier. Last game, they got up 30-plus threes in a game, over half of their field goal attempts.
And Cardette on the take, using his strength to get in there, but he traveled.
I'm sorry, Connie. You get that travel because of the defender. J.J. Traynor, I talked about the flexibility or the versatility defensively. He can guard bigs, he can guard guards right there. Just moving his feet and his length and not going for the pump fake caused the travel.
So back to DePaul's strength and three-point shooting and at the rim. It's Traynor this time. He can't get it. That's Providence's big emphasis today. They've talked a ton leading into this game about their three-point defense. And an offensive foul. And that goes against Rich Barron, his first.
Well, they just kicked it to Rich Barron on that play. He should have shot the three. That is what he does. But he leaned in on that screen with the shoulder, so that's an easy call. But when if you're a three-point shooter and you have light, space enough to get your shot up, you have to let it fly. That's your job, that's your role. Be a star in that role.
That was the first foul either way in this game, almost midway through the first half. Meyer off the handoff, cut off. And on the re-attack, off a pump fake, he finds a way to score inside. DePaul has gone on a 7-0 run. Here's Hopkins, and he ends the run with a three, his second of the night.
And I like the way that Hopkins is shooting threes. He seems more confident from the behind the arc, three-point arc than last season, shooting it real comfortable and under control.
Skogman stretches it out, his second of the night.
Real simple. Again, I mentioned that Coach Holtman is making a conscious effort to isolate the Friars bigs against Skogman and get him in a pick and pop situation, and he's just getting those wide open looks.
Well, Traynor playing from behind, swiping at Hopkins, who recovers again. It was juggled, that's why it wasn't a turnover. And knocked out. It stays with the Friars on the baseline.
Hopkins doing a better job and more comfortable with his three-point shooting, just stepping right into it. Nice and easy. Look at the exaggerated follow-through. And this is what we're looking for right here if you're DePaul. Getting Skogman wide open on a pick-and-pop opportunity from three and taking advantage of the Friars bigs.
Hopkins went back inside, but D'Amico had the resistance. Everybody on the floor for DePaul can hit you from deep. That's why Kim English spent so much time on the perimeter defense this week. Joseph got on the floor. And now Enright recontrols for the Blue Demons.
And you see everything is being run through Skogman. Either he's doing a dribble handoff or pick and pop.
D'Amico takes the contact. Chance to tie at the line.
Troy D'Amico, the 6'7" forward transfer from Southern Illinois, has the ability to attack the paint strong. You see him use his shoulder to draw the contact and absorb it, and the concentration with the finish off the glass.
Really an unheralded starter for DePaul, Troy D'Amico. Doesn't get a lot of the shine. Only takes 2, 3, maybe 4 shots a game for those guys.
But that's the kind of guy you need. He's the glue player on this team. Does a little bit of everything and does things when needed.
Providence had stretched out a lead just for DePaul to go on a 13-3 run to tie it back up at 18. D'Amico is looking for his. Out for Skogman, who hits again.
If you're Coach Holtman, you love the fact that your Blue Demons are following the scouting report and the game plan. Attack the paint, make the Friars bigs have to help, and at least Skogman wide open for three-point opportunities.
He has the rebound as DePaul has gotten hot after a 4-minute drought. And right, Chris Skogman not here on the take instead. Extra pass, Rivera. Hit that! Wintrust Arena on its feet, forcing a Providence timeout.
And now the three-point shots are falling from every spot on the court. Skogman just knocking it down from top of the key as a stretch big. And now you got Isaiah Rivera locked in. 3-ball, corner pocket, DePaul taking the lead.
How about that in the Providence huddle?
It's 4-0, whatever the foul count. Keep driving the ball, keep being patient. They'll call fouls right now. All right? They went on a run. Let's go on ours. All right?
Well, you notice how both coaches talked about, Coach Holtman in the earlier huddle talked about their response. Coach Kim English is talking about the runs also. Now, how do they respond? Connor is like a boxing match right now. The Friars came out first, punching and swinging, taking the advantage in the first round. Then the Blue Demons responded well with their three-point shooting and their three-point attack and in transition. So now, how do the Friars counterpunch that coming out of this timeout?
This is way better than that Tyson Paul fight a few weeks ago. This is real fight.
This is real fight, yeah. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
Well, Kim English says drive it. Joseph listens.
Absolutely. Nice play drawn up by Coach Kim English to come out at the ATO. I love to see how ATOs work after timeout right there. Getting a drive by Joseph, going to his strong hand, getting to the paint.
And Rivera can't answer back.
And that's one of DePaul's bread and butter plays right there. They like to get Rivera posted up against mismatches, smaller guards guarding him.
Hopkins trying to go back door. Meyer picks it off. DePaul had fallen down by 10 points, went on a 13-3 run. Now lead it by 4. Well, Meyer saves it. Skogman can't re-corral it, and here's Pierre back on the attack for Providence. Hopkins off the shot fake. Gives it up for a 3 that's heavy. And Floyd can't convert. One and done for the Friars. Rivera. In and out. Skogman gets a second look at it and goes reverse.
Skogman comes out of that offensive rebound finish with his hand down low, saying the Friars are too small. You see the Friar lineup right now. They're playing Hopkins at the 5 so they can get a little bit better mobility defensively to guard Skogman, but Skogman goes right into the paint that time. Friars, Coach English switching up, going smaller, but right now going smaller was taken advantage of by Skogman in the paint, doing his damage down low with the smaller defender, Bryce Hopkins. But that's one of the things kind of that the Friars are going to have to do this season. They're going to have to play big, and they'll have to find opportunities to play small, which puts Hopkins at the 5.
Which was a good lineup for them late in the Rhode Island game. It ended up being a little bit too late, but they were plus 19 on the scoreboard when they used that lineup in their loss the other day.
Hopkins brings so much of a mismatch problem offensively when he's playing the 5.
And the question, right, is can they rebound when they're a little bit smaller? They do here.
Absolutely.
Well, Joseph with a discard. Gives it up for a 3. Barron can't connect, and D'Amico clears the glass.
I think that was a good no call right there. Fans were looking for a call.
And right into the body of Cardette. Oh, what a rebound for Abdur-Rahim.
And that's what you got to see more of, Abdur-Rahim getting rebounds. That wasn't necessarily a travel right there. It looked like he was able to find an open man before touching the ground. But you like to see Abdur-Rahim attacking the defensive glass, grabbing rebounds. Let's see right here. I thought he was able to get that. Oh, okay. Good call. No. And I wasn't really trying to challenge this official crew because these are veterans here. Official Matt Potter making a good call right there. That's my bad.
And right on the lob, and Benson foul. And you can hear the anticipation in this gym of that play developing. Ends up with Benson at the free throw line.
DePaul has been good in the pick and rolls and lobs with Enright and Trainer and Enright and Benson. They have a good chemistry, a good read, and Enright is a good passer. And they run that pick and roll, and he is always looking for the lob pass, which they've been very successful.
He's a good passer, and I think he's a good lobbyist, too. Enright just went over to Roger Ayers. Had a long conversation. Those two shook up at the end of it.
Hey, Enright is definitely a good politician out here on the court. He plays with a good motor, animated. I mean, this is a guy that came off of playing with a broken nose. The next day he got a broken nose in practice and pulled his own mask out that he had already had from 4 previous broken noses.
Rip Hamilton ×4. And another travel on Abdur-Rahim. So since that hot start, Providence has started to give it up. That's 9 turnovers in this first half.
Coach Ingles is a little frustrated right now because he's getting the paint touches he wants. But the Blue Demons team defense has been very good, being able to stop their paint touches, not fouling, and creating turnovers by the Flyers traveling.
Then he told his guys, keep driving in there. They're going to start calling fouls. He hasn't gotten to the line after that advice yet. So that's knocked out. No free throws for Providence in this game yet.
But you see that DePaul is continuing to try to ISO the Flyers bigs on the perimeter and attack, create mismatches.
And Rivera trying to go back inside as the shot clock gets to single digits again. Down to 3 on the clock. Rivera step back, high arcing 3.
Sawanico could not do any better than that on this defensive pursuit and shot contest. That's just a great shot made by Rivera.
Friars still trying to stop the run. It slides off on the 3 for Barron. DePaul on a 17-2 run.
DePaul struggled from the 3 their last outing against Texas Tech, shooting 31%, but right now they are hot from behind the 3-point arc.
50% on the game. They're 6 of 12. That should have been a turnover. And Providence ends up sending Benson to the free throw line. Ball was dangling in the passing lane for a while. Benson at the free throw line when we come back with DePaul staying hot from 3.
Rivera right here having to get a shot up on the late shot clock. Good defense, but better offense. Rivera knocked down 3.
That is quickly turned around. Now a 9-point DePaul lead because of their patented 3-point shooting.
Well, they get this 3-point shooting. They have 9 assists on 11 made field goals. That's sharing the ball. It is the holiday season, so sharing is caring. They're getting penetration. They're making the right reads, the extra one more pass, and they're finding guys around the 3-point horn. And Skogman has been the beneficiary of these passes and just getting it done. And Rivera, with his shooting ability, shooting over 40%, the ability to step back and knock down a 3 over the defender. And look at Skogman just going to work today, being the beneficiary. 3 for 4 from 3, 13 points. Hey, like I said, they're taking advantage of, you can see obviously their game plan was to stretch the Friars bigs, get Skogman 3-point opportunities, and he's taking advantage of it, Connor, and making shots.
It's hard to believe that he was sick all week.
He's having the MJ sick game.
Yeah. And I haven't seen anybody have to lean on a shoulder and carry him off yet. But, man, he has carried them.
Well, DePaul right now is leading in some major categories in this game. 8 points off turnovers, +6. 10 points in the paint, +4. And their bench points right now, even though they're low for both teams, DePaul is +3 in the bench, and their bench scoring is one of the top in the country, averaging 38 points off the bench.
I was going to ask you, how's Providence get it going again? That's not going to help. Another turnover.
And this is what Coach English talked about at shoot-around, offensive organization. That's part of Pierre leading that. That's part of them having patience and poise, making the right reads and being under control right there. Cadet a little quick to it, a little bit out of control.
5 assists to the 10 turnovers for the Friars in this game. They started well, going up by 10. And right, driving kick. Quick closeout from Mila to close him out.
That was a good closeout.
There's Gunn into the body. It rolls off. Skogman follows it up. No. With a few misses tonight. And a good trip for Mila on defense. And that ball kicked on his pass.
That was a good defensive possession by the Friars all the way around. They almost messed it up by giving up an offensive rebound bucket, but they're able to save themselves in the second. Mila grabbing it and pushing out.
And he had the closeout early in that possession and closed it out with the rebound at the end of it.
If you were going on your defensive effort chart, Mila right there, his defensive effort in that possession was at a high level.
Over 4.5 minutes since Providence has scored. Pierre ends that drought.
I really like how Pierre has increased his offensive productivity for this Friars team, making up for the lack of not having Devin Carter anymore. He's been able to find mid-range games, attacking the basket and shooting threes right there, the soft touch.
Carter, the Big East Player of the Year, drafted 13th overall to the Kings. And rebound for Cardette. Final 2.5 minutes until halftime. And Cardette has the speed advantage, gives it up. And Hopkins has size on blocker. Gave it to Mila. Still nothing doing on this trip for Providence. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Hopkins wheels his way in and finds an easy one underneath.
Good move by Hopkins as he's continuing to find his tracking, find his footwork, find his opportunities in these games after coming back and not playing for 11 months. That was a nice attack against the big.
8 first-half points for Hopkins back in his home area. Skogman off a pivot, short, and Mila has the defense again.
Mila earning his minutes on the court with his defensive effort and production.
Oh, ball buzzing around to Cardette. 3 is back rim and out.
That was a good job in transition with that shot opportunity.
Miko slashing and offensive foul. Joseph takes it on the chest.
That was a good call by official Matt Potter right there. D'Amico thought Bensley was going to go for the Euro fake, the Euro step, and get around him. But Benson right there, timing up, knowing and reading the scout report, knowing what players' tendencies are, and he was right there playing the Euro step and gets the offensive foul.
Kim English has to be saying, finally, a foul called against DePaul in this first half.
Yeah, you're the Friars, you're trying to, right now, with only a little bit over a minute and down 6, if you're the Friars, you're trying to create a mismatch opportunity for Bryce Hopkins. Let him make a play for himself or for his teammates. And your second option right now is to get Pierre in the paint to get a scoring opportunity.
Pierre almost got there. Now here is Hopkins in the paint, and there's the second foul of the half against DePaul. And there's, I think, a little Bronx cheer and clapping going on from Kim English with each of those last 2.
Well, you and I saw at the timeout, Kim English came out there and protested, made a direct protest to the officials, and looked at official Roger Ayers and said, hey, come on now, we got to get some calls. They're getting some calls now.
He said 17 minutes, 0 fouls. That's exactly what he shouted across the gym. Here's Hopkins back to work on Trainer. Shut off there, stays with the pivot, swirls out. He got his own. Right back up, that's blocked. Gunn helping out. And Hopkins reels it back in as Providence resets. Well, Barron, physical drive and a kick. Hopkins got another.
And good things happen when you play the right way. He didn't force the offensive opportunity the first time. Penetrated, got two defenders, kicked it out to Rich Barron. And Rich Barron attacking the defender closeout and finding Hopkins for the open three.
How about the swings in this game? Providence trying to stay running. It's an offensive rebound that Blocker can't put away. And Providence gets it back with the shot clock dart.
That was right there. That was close. That was close.
Well, both teams have had 10-point leads at different points in this half. And Providence has a chance, after all that, to be right back where we began if they can hit a three at the end of the clock here.
And right now, the late clock going down.
And as Kim English made very clear, DePaul has a lot of fouls to get.
Yeah, and then Coach Holman having his team prepared to utilize those fouls. Make it stagnant, throwing off the Friars' ability to get some momentum in these last seconds.
As Sondico comes back in for Cardette. With 5.6 on the shot clock and only 3 team fouls against DePaul. So will they foul again? Joseph steps in. Enright doesn't give it. Joseph gets it off, but an air ball. And that'll bring us to halftime. Well, if this is how all the Big East games are going to be, let's go.
Yeah, it's exciting first half going back and forth. We expected this because of the two styles of the team. 3-point shooting and transition by DePaul and transition by the Friars.
It was a 10-point lead for Kim English and Providence. Then it was a 10-point lead for DePaul. After all that, 3-point Blue Demons lead halfway through the first Big East game. Dulcet tones of Anthony Kiedis and the Chili Peppers bringing us back. It was first round to Providence, second round to DePaul, and here we are in a 3-point game at the half as Providence went on that 7-0 run to close it out. Back with Dickie Simpkins, I'm Connor Onion. Kim English was adamant with his guys that they better start honoring the name on the front of their chest at their shoot-around today. Mixed a lot of different guys in there when it wasn't going well.
Yeah, and I think from the shoot-around, I think the Friars are responding to what Coach English demanded of them at shoot-around today. And he's finding guys who are going to do what they need to do on the court. And it seems to be working like it just showed. This boxing match has been going back and forth. The Friars attacking. DePaul responding. The Friars finishing up before the half did. And you can already see Kim English making a change in the starting lineup for this second half at the big position.
Oswin Erun-Ser comes out starting after Skogman, the 5 for DePaul, had 13 points in the first half. So off and rolling in the Big East opener. Somebody getting to 1-0 tonight. And Skogman denied by Joseph, who is fronting. So the Friars get a stop on their opening defensive possession of the half. And the Cardette slashes into the left hand.
And you can tell at halftime, Kim English probably had some more words for them because they coming out very intense defensively and letting their defense create offense.
Providence did do a good job on the leading scorer, Meyer, for DePaul in the first half, just 2 points. And Joseph, defense and offense to begin the half.
And you can see Coach English talking about that's what I wanted. Coach English, one of the up-and-coming coaches in college basketball, has the right temperament for today's college athletes. He played the game, played in the NBA, a player's coach.
You think paint was flying at halftime? Skogman, another one. He's up to 16 on the night.
Skogman getting right back the way he left off, getting in a quick pick-and-pop situation that created the opportunity for him to knock down that 3.
Well, he's matched his high in the season of 16, and Joseph has come out playing real well.
And Bensley Joseph has been another person that they need to score. In the last couple of games, he's found his scoring opportunities, knocking down 3s and getting that nice floater as you saw just there.
He had 5 in the first half. He's up to 9 with 2 quick buckets in the second half. To level it up at 33. And Skogman against Arun Ser. One-on-one in the post. Off a pivot. It rolls off. Arun Ser holds.
Good defense by Arun Ser. Freshman still learning how to play.
He's got inside position on smaller player.
They have to look to take advantage of him when he is in the paint on a smaller defender.
Joseph long on it. Couldn't get it in there, and Enright whisks it away. One of the best passers in the country. Keeps it himself. Nobody home.
And right now, he's getting a lot of production out of Arun Ser. Arun Ser looks like he's either tired or he's limping a little bit. Nice.
Right leg. A bit of an awkward gait on his way back down.
Yeah, it looks like he tweaked something. I don't know if the bench and the coaches have recognized that.
Hands on knees as we get late into this possession for Arun Ser. Masquier gives it up. Arun Ser adjusts midair. Rebound for Rivera. DePaul started the year 7-0. Took their first loss on the road against Texas Tech 6 days ago. And now trying to snap a long Big East regular season drought. And D'Amico off on that 3.
Well, that's what Coach English wants with his defense. They're switching at all 5 positions.
Well, Hopkins hung up there, got his own miss, laid it back in, and a timeout for Providence after they retake the lead.
Bryce Hopkins is continuing to try to get his rhythm back. Attacking the basket right now. Nice acrobatic move, but having a quick reaction to get his offensive rebound and put it back. Friars up by 2.
3 in this Big East opener. DePaul is trying to snap a long string of losses in regular season games in the Big East. 32-game losing streak. They went 0 for 20 last year. You got to go back to January 18th of 2023, their last regular season win in conference.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it earlier. Coach Holtman has brought this new style of basketball with 3-point shooting, went out in the transfer portal. You see last season's record, but I like what I see with this new DePaul team and the style of play. I mean, I can't see them not continuing to transition and trend upwards as far as winning, because you love to see this type of play, and the guys share the ball, so they're all excited to play with each other because they know they're all getting the opportunity to score.
Well, last year, it felt like when you played DePaul, you chalked that up as a win. And the results did show that. Not the case this year. We're tied after the dunk for Traynor.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the first half, that Enright lob action, they had that down to a T, and right out of the timeout, good execution on that ATO for the lob play to Traynor.
So a game that's seen big swings back to level ahead of the under-16 timeout of the second half. Both teams have had 10-point leads at one point. And 5 on the clock for Pierre. His 3 lifts out. Second chance, new 20 on the shot clock. Well, maybe not. Roger Ayers right on top of the call. And Delorier out of bounds. That is the under-16. I think we could be in for a great 16-minute stretch. All even at 35.
The excitement, throwing it up high, playing it up high.
Right before the timeout, through the back door, a lob for J.J. Traynor.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple right here. This after timeout play, Coach Holtman runs. You see J.J. Traynor isolated. The misdirection over here is making you think the action is going here. But Jacob Meyer setting the back screen on Bryce Hopkins. Not enough defensive communication right there, with Jaden Pierre needing to call it out and help Hopkins, which gives J.J. Traynor an open lane for the lob catch dunk. And that is one of their bread and butter plays they use after timeouts or in ball screen actions, trying to get Traynor a lob catch, and he finishes.
It's been a real joy to watch DePaul play offense this year.
Absolutely. I mean, you love the sharing of the ball. You love the precision of the passing. The engine to this team is Enright. and all the other guys bring their skill set of shooting, training with his athleticism, and Enright just sets it all up, orchestrates it.
Chris Holtman, the head coach, very involved in the offense. So is Brian Mullins, Hall of Fame player and former head coach at Southern Illinois that he brought onto his staff in his first year. And there's the turnover that Abdur Rahim gets on the deck.
Coach Holtman has assembled a veteran coaching staff that all those guys were head coaches at some point in time. So he has experience over there that the support is great.
Joseph knocks in a three for Providence.
You see Joseph just feeling it. You're talking about a kid who played on the Final Four team and that Miami team and transferred from Miami. He has the experience. He has the ability as a guard to get those isolations and go to work.
He knows what the Big East guards feel like. He saw UConn in that national semifinal. Guarded Tristan Newton for a long stretch. That won't go for Rivera. Rebound for Delorier, who's gotten some second-half run for the Friars.
Well, Coach English talked about it at shooter room. Guys are going to get opportunities. He's trying to find guys who's going to produce. And Delorier and Melee, they have produced when they've come in the game, earning their minutes.
Well, Joseph is a guy that he challenged at shoot-around today. He's responded with 12 points and a flurry out of halftime.
And that's all you want to see. When you challenge one of your players, you call them out on things that they're not doing and trying to get them motivated, you want to see how they respond. Joseph has come into this game and has responded well from the shoot-around today and the intensity.
And here he is, backing his way out and getting guys organized. Joseph against Enright. He tries to break free, down to single digits on the shot clock. Back in the hands of Hopkins. 5 on the shot clock. Getting late. Down to 3 to go. Hopkins on the turn. It won't go.
He didn't get that bucket right there, but the luxury to have a guy who can create in late clock and go get you a shot is beneficial for the Friars.
Well, they really missed that when he was out for 11 months.
Yeah, and you're lucky to have a guy like that, but you don't want to have a steady diet of having Rice Hopkins have to bail you out at late shot clock all the time. That's where the offensive organization comes, where Coach English was talking about not being stagnant.
And then Benson gets hit. Roger Ayers says that's down on the ground. No attempt at a shot there, clearly.
It's a lot of miscommunication or non-defensive communication with the Friars, getting these lob passes thrown on them.
Enright gives it up. Blocker. It's a 3 for Gunn. Can't connect. And an offensive rebound. Second crack at it for the Blue Demons.
That was one of the things they wanted to get better at in this game, their defensive rebounding.
Well, Barron with the takeaway. It's a 2-on-2. He keeps it himself. He scores and one.
Leighton Blocker is mad right now, frustrated that he didn't get the offensive call. He was kind of still moving as Rich Barron took off and left the ground. Official Roger Ayers is looking at Leighton Blocker, giving him that look to tell him, hey, you want to calm down so I don't call this tech on you. I think that was a good call, Connie.
Yeah, good job by Enright, too, to get in there. Make sure Blocker and Ayers didn't go nose to nose.
Yeah, I mean, that's good leadership right there by Enright to get in there. And Enright's one of those feisty guys that sometimes they have to keep him from going at the officials.
That was like looking in the mirror for him. That was the first free throw attempt of the game for Providence. Benson is pushed from behind by Pierre. The dueling trips to the free throw line.
DePaul is doing a good job taking advantage of this ball screen action. It is really creating an open opportunity in the paint. The other reason why it's creating an open opportunity in the paint for the lob passes is because you have shooters on the perimeter that you have to respect when you're guarding the Blue Demons.
They gave Benson the chance to get here. You were talking about the communication for Providence on defense against Chris Holtman's offense. This is not a loud Providence team. They do not have a booming voice that can cut through crowd noise on the road or even cut through an empty gym sometimes.
And that was Devin Carter last year. He was the leader of this team. He was the voice. He was the heart and soul of this Friars team. And obviously, he has gone on to the NBA, drafted in the first round. That's where they have to find that person again, and you hope that it can be Jaden Pierre.
Well, lob, Arun Ser on the catch, and on the reattack. It's back-to-back trips to the free throw line after Providence didn't go there at all.
Well, the Friars right there trying to take advantage of their own pick and roll to the lob action.
This game started with a bunch of three-point shots. It's turned into a lob fest.
It is definitely momentum swinging into what did Coach Holtman say? Rim twos. We need rim twos at the rim if you're going to shoot a two. And both teams right now taking advantage of attacking the rim with their bigs on lob passes.
DePaul gladly gave that foul. Arun Ser is 6 of 17 from the free throw line after that first miss. And he misses both.
Yeah, only shooting 37% from the free throw line. That is definitely a guy that you want to foul when he gets close to the basket.
Well, Benson back to the free throw line himself for the second time.
And there's a struggle right now going, and you have to give it to the Blue Demons. They're continuing. See, this is what I like about basketball, and I get irritated when I don't see this. When something is working, you keep milking it until a team can stop it. Right now, the Blue Demons are milking the ball screen action, making the Friars have to figure out how to stop it, and right now they're not.
Dickie Simpkins gets irritated.
Just a little bit. Every once in a blue moon, but kind of for the most part, I stay in a peaceful space.
I say you're one of the nicest guys I've met.
I stay in a peaceful space, but defensive miscommunication or somebody dribbling the air out the ball and not giving the ball up to an open big, that can be a little irritating. Just a little bit.
DePaul feeling a little less irritated. They just snapped a 4-minute scoring drought. Providence locking it down. The number 2 scoring defense in the Big East, Providence. And it's DePaul with some ball pressure. Out of the under 12 media timeout. Barron being chased by Blocker. Can't get all the way free. Forced to give it up, and Gunn denies it. It's out of bounds with 4 to shoot. Then Kim English will have the media timeout to draw something up with 4 seconds on the clock to try to extend the Providence lead. Chris Holtman back in the Big East, his first Big East game since 2017. Oh, and the shooting numbers have flipped.
Yeah, Providence defense has turned up the intensity, more awareness on the Blue Demons three-point shooting, contesting shots, flying around, making those shots difficult. Providence changing the momentum of the game in their favor because of their paint touches, paint attacks, and the scoring in the paint with a +8 right now, and scoring off of turnovers, which is a +4. And then they're getting second chance points right now. So they have flipped in those categories where they were losing early in the first half.
Dickie, that stat comparison is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Remember, the shot clock is at 4 here. And as the Friars look to inbounds, into Cardette, down to 3 to go. Back to Pierre, forced 3, no good. One of the best defensive trips of the night for DePaul.
Not good execution right there after the timeout, but one of the things that Coach English wants to see as he needs Cardette Jr., the 19-point scorer at Chicago State last season that transferred to Providence. He needs him to be more aggressive offensively and needs that offensive consistency. That was an opportunity for him to take advantage of that 4 seconds.
And it's been down on this end. Now Providence has turned a 10-point DePaul lead into a 3-point lead again over a 4.5-minute drought. 25 seconds of defense here, and Gunn ends it with a layup.
Not the most efficient and prettiest bucket right there, but C.J. Gunn, a scorer, just staying relentless and focused on getting to the basket and not settling for an easy shot.
Joseph's had a big second half scoring. He slides it inside. Two-handed flush. Arun Sair.
And now the Friars finding Arun Sair diving to the basket, and that's what he does. He's still young, still learning, but blocking shots and finishing at the rim.
He influences that shot. Arun Sair has done that twice tonight. And he does it almost again. Saved by Benson. That looked like a walk-in dunk.
And Benson wasn't allowing that. Security, protect my house.
Well, the guards are the stars in this matchup, but Arun Sair and Benson with back-to-back plays and back into that matchup. Not out of bounds. This was fun end-to-end.
Arun Sair just finding an opening seam. They find them, explosion up to the rim, and then just the block. I mean, that's what you want. The Secretary of Defense right there protecting the paint and giving you some rim protection, field goal deep. Look at that. We're having a lob show right here, Connor.
Well, Providence keeps going to Arun Sair, who gets the second half start. And he has flown through the lane a bunch.
I think Coach English has found what he is looking for in his bigs. The energy Arun Sair is bringing right now defensively and finishing.
Rivera strong, knocked out by Enright.
Again, I mentioned it earlier, I like how both coaches are continuing to go back to what's working. You see Pierre with the screen, setting the screen on Benson to create that open space for Arun Sair to go up and grab that and bite the rim with that nasty dunk right there.
You made a nominee for your Secretary of Defense. How about the leader of the Air Force?
We're just going to start with this Secretary of Defense right now. But the way he's flying above the rim, may be able to be the leader of the Air Force right there.
Kim English went to Arun Sair to start the half, get a different look in the paint, and Providence has gone 14-4 over DePaul in the paint since that point.
He's gotten a lot of production with that change in the start lineup of the second half.
Barnett driving kick, Joseph extra pass. But Enright all over Pierre, forces the back out. Clock ticking. Pierre takes it himself. Can't connect. Rebound Meyer. And DePaul led it at half by 3, led in the first half by 10, but chasing 5 as we get near the 9-minute mark. They only have 9 points since halftime. Providence locking it down. Back to Skogman, who loosens it up.
The rotation too slow right there to Skogman. All he needs is a half a second to get the look that he needs to knock down the 3. Friars getting there late. Skogman making them pay for it.
Skogman's best scoring game as a Blue Demon with 19 points, bettering his 16 he had against Duquesne. And a foul on Rivera after the Skogman 3.
And right here you'll see it. All Skogman needs is a nice second. The rotation was too late, and he was able to catch that with a quick release. And he's letting the Friars know about it with the 3-point sign in the air.
Both Skogman and D'Amico have unique releases. But both guys at the 4 and 5 spot shoot 40% plus for the ball.
Yeah, Skogman shot 41% last year. Davidson brought that here.
Hands for Rivera. Meyer going 1-on-3. Chance to tie it at the free throw line.
And Jacob Meyer, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, who's the leading scorer on his team, got his start today, but hasn't been as productive offensively. Right there, drawing the foul to get him an opportunity for 2 at the free throw line. But he was a big scoring production part for them coming off the bench, contributing to that 38 points that their bench average is one of the top 5 in the country. But it seems like him in the starting lineup, he hasn't been able to be as productive as he has in the past.
Dickie, it's a really weird thing. DePaul is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. Shooters everywhere. but they're not a good free throw shooting team.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Connor. I talked about that before when I did the DePaul game. And the only rationalization I can see in that is because you're predominantly a three-point shooting team, you don't get a lot of attempts at the free throw line. You don't draw a lot of fouls. So you're shooting them once in a blue moon. You don't have any rhythm. That's the only thing I can think of for a high-level three-point shooting team not being able to make free throws at a high level.
Abdul Rahim, no. Arun Sarah's there again, and he draws a foul. Rivera called for that, his second. As we come down the stretch, under 8, Chris Holtmann. Has a win against Creighton on their resume. Creighton beat #1 Kansas last week, so that should be a good one. Friday night in Lincoln. Here at Wintrust Arena, Connor Onion, Dickie Simpkins, 1-point game, and the big emphasis for Providence all week leading into DePaul was 3-point defense.
Absolutely, you have to be locked in with your 3-point defense awareness. For the most part, they have been locked in, but in the first half, they wasn't as locked in as they've been in the second half. But as soon as they were a second slow, Skogman would knock them down. They have to keep staying alert and knowing that the Blue Demons are trying to get Skogman as many opportunities as possible.
Well, that's been the biggest indicator of wins and losses this year for Providence. Their 3-point defense and wins, 25%. Much higher in losses. And Meyer forces the turnover.
You can't have that kind of turnover by your veteran point guard, especially after a timeout. Just cannot happen.
The 14th of the night, 14th turnover compared to just 7 for DePaul. Meyer for 3. He got fouled, and it counts.
Well, the one thing about Jacob Meyer, the 6'2" guard from Covington, Kentucky, is he has the confidence and the personality that he knows he can get buckets. Even if he's not making shots, he takes shots like you would think he's been making them all game. Right there, just lining it up, knocking it down. And there you go. Hey, I can't put the free throw jinx on you because they don't shoot well from the free throw line.
Well, right back at him with Joseph to tie it back up.
Good job attacking in transition off a missed free throw. That was a great job by the Friars to find an easy offensive opportunity real quick and catch the ball sleeping on that free throw miss.
By the way, you're off the hook on the Dickie jinx.
I appreciate that. we can't get the jinx on a team that's not shooting well from the free throw line.
Well, same spot. Meyer short this time. Rivera tapped it right back to him, but Arun Sayre gets it back. The run in the floor. Arun Sayre off a ball fake. Rocking the rim again.
Arun Sayre's minutes right now, high-level production.
And Joseph knew Skogman's reputation. It's Enright instead, and he's fouled.
Cannot foul three-point shooters. Cannot foul them. Right there, easy call. Aaron Scher is putting his hands up, doesn't understand why it's a call. It's the call because he didn't give Enright any room to land on that three-point shot. That's an automatic foul and a potential for a 4-point play.
So Enright has DePaul back up 2. Couple of guys that have been quiet all night. Meyer hadn't hit a field goal in the second half. Enright hadn't hit one all night. And now the crowd comes alive.
Gotta take advantage of the mismatch one way or another.
LaPierre twisted in. Nothing there. Rivera on the blow-by for 2 more.
DePaul showing their ability to attack in transition. They're a very good transition team. Enright just the motor attacking and finding Rivera.
Hopkins never let it fly. D'Amico with the steal. Euro step. Meyer off the window.
DePaul gaining the momentum back by defense, making it tough for the Friars, getting defensive stops, and then getting out in transition. Jacob Meyer just navigating through the defense, being creative with the Euro step, and the concentration to finish. All created and initiated by the Blue Demons defense in the half court.
Well, Chicago has a Big East team that looks like it's going to be competitive in conference play this year.
Absolutely, Connor. Again, we're going to keep talking about it, but this new exciting play that Coach Holtman has never used before, never made it a feature in his coaching style, but he has done it now with this three-point shooting and this transition basketball has brought a high level of excitement. Look at these fans.
Well, with that style comes a lot of threes, and 8 games in a row they made 10 plus. You got to go back to 07-08, the last time that happened for DePaul.
I mean, that's Coach Holtman is playing the analytics right now. You're talking about plus 10 threes made. You're talking about getting up 25 plus threes a game. You're playing the percentages on trying to make more threes to give yourself a chance to really win a game. They're taking advantage of it. And most importantly, you have to shoot them at a high rate. And they're shooting them at 39%, almost 40%.
Well, Meyer laying it on the line, but now a disadvantage as he tries to get back into play. And Providence slows it down back to 5-on-5. We know one thing about this game, that DePaul run probably won't be the last run we see. Providence has had answers, but an offensive foul on Pierre.
And one of the things that happens when a team gains momentum and they get the crowd involved, things start leaning their way defensively. That's a questionable call in the moment on that one. That's a split second that the officials have to make that charge. It looked like it was still moving, but you have the advantage because you have changed the momentum in your favor.
Providence head coach Kim English was making the flop signal. He thought Enright took a dive there. By the way, that's the 11th charge that Enright has taken this year. Turnaround. No. Meyer pursuing it. It's Pierre that comes away with it. Providence has gone on a couple of long runs tonight. Inside 5. Chasing 6 points.
Good defense by the Blue Demons right there. That transition defense right there was right on.
Joseph slides it off. Enright with the glass.
Don't want to settle for a three right there. You have to get a quality shot. Take your time, get a quality shot. You're down 6. You don't want to settle for shots.
And some of the organization that Kim English was talking about today. Skogman. Ooh, it rattles out. I think everybody in the gym thought it was going. And Joseph draws the foul. Just the 5th team foul against DePaul, so no shots yet.
Well, Providence got bailed out right there by Skogman just missing that wide open look. But Coach English has put in a mobile, versatile unit, a small unit where they can switch all positions. So if you're switching at every position, there shouldn't be any open looks for Skogman to get off a three-point shot.
Well, that's definitely a guy they're plenty aware of. Has 19 points tonight. Skogman does. Providence dodged one.
You see the Friars trying to set up a mismatch for either James Pierre or Hopkins.
Well, he has the foot speed advantage right here on Skogman. And Skogman hang in. Pierre gives it up. A 3 is short. Hopkins got a look at it. And the ball steers clear.
Providence right there settling for 2 threes in the critical of the game. When I say the critical, under 5 for a team that shoots 34% from the 3. Empty possessions.
Somebody's getting to 1-0 in the Big East tonight. Meyer flings it off the window.
The determination, the grit, the focus You don't keep the leading score down.
Abdur-Rahim catching fire. Needed that for Providence.
That was a well-needed made bucket right there from 3.
That stops a 17-4 DePaul run. The next whistle will be the under 4 media timeout. DePaul trying to win their first Big East regular season game in 2 years. D'Amico sets the feed. Follows his own, but back rim. And down to Providence with Barron. Joseph head down drive. Jockeys his way in for a layup.
Wesley Joseph has just been on the attack this whole game, finding opportunities in transition to get to that basket quick.
You just knew that nobody was going to pull away with how this game has been played. Back to 3 points. 2:33 to go. A 2:33 from the finish line in the Big East opener. DePaul trying to hang on, leading Providence by 3 for their first win in a Big East regular season game since January 18th, 2023. That was against Xavier. Number 8 Xavier, by the way. Adam Kunkel hit a layup. About a minute 40 left. And this put DePaul back in front 71-70 before Zach Fremantle. Yes, he was still on Xavier at that point, as he is now. Hit a couple of free throws. It was Deshaun Nelson's layup that put DePaul ahead for good. And at that point, the Blue Demons had no idea how long they would be waiting. Does that wait end tonight? That's what's at stake over the final 2:33.
Well, you got to love the energy of this game. You have to like the way that the game has gone back and forth. We have a little bit over 2.5 minutes left. It's anybody's game right now with DePaul up 3. And you love the excitement. The fans are so invested into this game. It hasn't been like this in a minute. Everybody, this is what you want for a first Big East game, Connor.
In January 2023 feels a long time ago. I mean, Kareem was still the leading scorer in the NBA.
It does.
The Eras Tour hadn't started. Feels like Taylor Swift has been on tour forever. That's what DePaul is trying to close out here. Their first win in 32 regular season Big East games. 9 to shoot for Meyer. Riding with Pierre, falling away short. And the rebound secured by Cardette.
Very, very good defensive possession by the Five. Playing with a small unit right now, very small. Bryce Hopkins at the 5, Cardette at the 4.
Oh, nice catch and finish. Hopkins.
You see that right there. Hopkins is now in the pick and roll situation. Not ready to play athletic yet because he's still coming off the injury, but they found him with a nice pocket pass for the finish at the back.
Vicky, wouldn't you know it? Another run in this game. 7-0 run for Providence. Back to 1 point. DePaul watching that clock drip down to 8 with Enright. And a body foul will send Enright to the free throw line for the 1-1.
And Enright did the right thing right there. The Flyers are doing a good job switching. That's why they have this small lineup in, so they can switch every position. And Enright just taking advantage of an isolated Bryce Hopkins guarding him, knowing that he's coming back from injury, attacking him to draw the foul.
Remember, not a good free throw shooting team. Enright on the season. 6 of 14, but perfect on that.
Enright shoots 42% from the 3, and he shoots 42% from the free throw line.
Crazy. And he looks clean on both in the 1-and-1.
Didn't look like a 42% free throw shooter right there, knocking down 2 big free throws.
Still a 1-possession game. Can Providence grit one out on the road? They have not made a free throw tonight. It's hard to do when a conference game not making a free throw. and still a chance to win it. Inside, it's short, and it'll stay with Hopkins and Providence.
And you can see Hopkins right there. He's so mad that he missed that easy one right there at the basket. But the Friars right now coming down the stretch, they're going to try to isolate and cause mismatches for Hopkins to take advantage of, or Pierre to take advantage of a mismatch with a big. This is what it's coming down to for the Friars.
Hopkins and Joseph, the top two scorers for Providence. 15 for Hopkins, 16 for Joseph. It's in the hands of Pierre as we get to the 1 minute mark of the first Big East game of the year. Pierre for the tie. He connects.
Big time shot taker, big time shot maker. Jaden Pierre right there. The knockdown three to tie the game up at 58.
Providence needs him to lead them. That's a great way to show it.
It's a guy shooting 43% from three. Ice in his veins, and I love it. Like I said, big shot taker, big shot maker right here. A little bit under a minute, stepping up, shooting with confidence, and tying the game at 58.
Will this game end up in the Chicago Art Institute? Probably not. But it has been a lot of fun. It's been back and forth. And despite it not being perfect either way, here we are, 53 seconds, 58 aside.
Yeah, and to your point, it hasn't been perfect. Some of it has been ugly, but there has been some pretty and exciting moments in this game that keep you locked in for this competitive match right here on the opening of the Big East. And you have to love that it's a tie game, 53 seconds left. And here's where the chess match plays right here with both coaches. You saw that Kim English was playing a small lineup to switch on everything that happened with the Blue Demons making their offensive thrust. Will he stay with that lineup? I would. But if you do, you better know Skogman is going to be in the game. They're going to go to him and try to stretch him out for the three or play him for a mismatch switch. That's when you have to be locked in. You have to fight over top, and then you have to gang rebound as a team.
That's what you do if you're DePaul. Get the ball in hand to Skogman here.
I mean, right now, you know that the Friars are playing small. I'm coming out right now, and I'm trying to find a mismatch for Skogman, either on a miscommunication, pick and pop for an open three, or a switch that gives him the advantage to go to the paint, to the block, versus a small Friars defender.
Skogman screening in that stack over on the sideline. He's out setting the screen, diving to the rim. Ball in the hands of Enright. D'Amico gave it a look. It's Enright for three, and the lead, no. Taps around, scramble for it at midcourt. Enright saves it into the hands of Meyer. D'Amico three. And the rebound torn down for Hopkins.
The Friars are so lucky that second chance opportunity didn't lead to a knockdown three. Bryce Hopkins securing that rebound. Connor, the Blue Demons got what they wanted. They got the switch, but they didn't take advantage of Skogman in the paint being guarded by Bensley. But the Achilles heel of the Friars lately were giving up and not securing defensive rebounds that gave D'Amico a wide open look. They got so lucky with him not knocking that down.
So now the final timeout for Providence. And Kim English has to come up with his best after timeout of the night to try to win this game.
I mean, it's no mystery right here. Kim English is drawing up in the huddle right now. We're trying to create a mismatch for our go-to guy, Bryce Hopkins. He's also telling Bryce Hopkins, we're putting the ball in your hand to make a play. Make a play when you go get it and score, or make a play when the defense collapses. You make the right pass and the right read.
Well, Hopkins, local legends, coming back home tonight. Start at Fenwick High School in Oak Park a few minutes from here. And he's been one of the Friars' best players, as he always has.
Having an unbelievable performance. Again, this is a guy that's been out for 11 months coming off a torn ACL and is playing in his third game back and performing at a high level. And he's here back home in Chicago in front of 20-plus family and friends, other fans, and he is delivering for his Friars team that they missed him and now he's here, and he is arrived.
Well, the section of fans behind the Providence bench are all Bryce Hopkins fans. Pretty much all of them are here on his ticket list to see him have a moment. See if he has one with 20.3 to go to deliver a Big East win.
Connor, look at this defensive chess match. The chess match going back and forth. Holtman has changed his defensive lineup. He has Benson and Traynor in there, two defenders.
Oh, Joseph lost it. Bodies hit the deck, a jump ball, and it is Providence ball. Whoa. Oh, they got away with that ball being right there for Meyer to take. Abdur-Rahim saves it.
Miscommunication. I don't know how you have this miscommunication coming out of timeout on a dribble handoff, but you have no room for error. You have to be precise with how you execute. This is a dribble handoff. Bensley has to grab the ball. Maybe it was shoved to him too quickly, but you have to be prepared. And luckily they had the possession arrow in their favor. But what I was pointing out, J.J. Traynor and Benson are in for defensive, and C.J. Gunn for the DePaul Blue Demons to add that defensive force for them right now.
And it's Benson that checks Hopkins at the free throw line, and a foul given by Meyer. It's the final foul to give for DePaul. They're sixth as a team.
You cannot, if you're the Friars, you have to come meet the ball. You have to have an attitude of grabbing the ball in the air with tenacity.
No timeouts for Providence. If they get in trouble, they can't stop it. Inside 10 seconds. Big East opener on the line right here. In the hands of Joseph. Inside 5. Joseph on the take. It's up. It's no good. Hopkins the putback. No! That close to being the homecoming hero.
The Friar coaching staff right now are talking to the officials because they felt like it was a foul with Bensley attacking the rim. It's tough for the officials to call foul right here in the critical final seconds. I mean, it was close, but they're not calling that. And look at the opportunities that the Friars had, so close, but no cigar, no finish. Bensley going downhill, attacking, getting up on the rim, and their star player, first team all Big East, almost having the putback here, just following it up, using his athleticism, and getting a good look, but not falling for the Friars. We're getting a bonus round. The price of admission got us an extra round here.
Free basketball that Hopkins wished didn't exist. He was so close. Good job by his teammates getting out there and rallying. Overtime is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Now, this is the only show in town this week in the Big East. No games in conference until next Tuesday. And what a treat this has been for the rest of the league to sit back, watch Providence DePaul go blow for blow.
Connor, I would have to say, we sat here in Providence shoot-around this morning. We saw how intense it was. We saw how Coach Ken English challenged individual players and challenged his team. And he said, I'm going to find the guys that are going to come out here and be productive, fight, and perform. And he has, with a multiple of players who have come in and earned their minutes and played around Bryce Hopkins, the star player, and have found ways to contribute and be productive. I would have to say, guys responded from shoot-around today.
Any thoughts on Hopkins, where his mind might be after being that close to the winner, heading into this overtime?
Well, I'm sure he's like saying to himself, man, 3 games back, I could have had the game winner. The bottom line is, he and the Friars and Jaden Pierre have put them in a good position to have this extra overtime. But you got to feel like Hopkins mentally is so locked in and feeling good about how he's been playing.
Well, first Big East game of the year goes to overtime, and Meyer draws the offensive foul.
Right now, this is where Herencia has been playing well. He's earned these minutes, but he is a freshman. And those are freshman mistakes right there.
Called for the second foul. First touch in overtime for DePaul. It's Traynor starting overtime, and it's ripped away by Pierre.
Good job by Jaden Pierre going in there, helping on the defense and strumming that ball out.
Pierre had a big three late in regulation. Enright fell down. And it's left for Arun Sayer. Another dunk.
Tries to take advantage of Enright falling down on the ground. Good penetration by Bryce Hopkins and nice interior passing for the dunk.
Skogman stays high.
Miscommunication right there defensively. Coach Kim English might want to think about going back to his smaller lineup again. I mean, they were able to switch at every possession. They can get out in transition, and they can benefit in the isolation one-on-one game.
Joseph stop and start. He pushed his way off. DePaul fought. And it's a foul on Meyer.
And right here, it was just Kim English seeing that Enright fell. He went in there under control. Nice interior passing for the dunk. And then right here, miscommunication. You cannot leave Skogman wide open with the way he's been knocking down threes. Good job by the Blue Demons finding the open guy.
Skogman up to 22 points. And Providence into overtime just hit their first free throw of the night to give Joseph 17. It's hard to believe. Conference game that goes to overtime. It's taken this long, 40-plus minutes for Providence to make a couple.
And this is the first Big East game of the season. It feels like it's a Big East game in the Big East tournament right now. Playing for that last game on a Saturday night so you can get to the championship game on Sunday. That's what this energy feels like.
Enright left his feet. And down to 10 on the shot clock for Rivera. Gave it up and knocked out of bounds. So 8 to shoot for DePaul on the baseline.
Every possession is critical right now, Connor. Every possession defensively and offensively for both teams.
A regulation that saw major swings. Providence and DePaul both had 10-point leads in the first half. And now into overtime. Down to 2 to shoot. Meyer gets it away and airballs it. The on-ball defense from Jaden Pierre.
And that was good defense by Jaden Pierre, not fouling three-point shooter. Knowing that Jacob Meyer is a left-hand three-point shooter, he contested on the side where he would avoid fouling him.
A couple of turnovers for DePaul in overtime. And as Providence trying to add to their 1-point lead. Drive and kick. Hopkins on the deck. All the way to the rim. Short. Traynor bothered it.
And that right there was a good move, but you can see Hopkins doesn't have all his explosion right now.
Oh, Skogman halfway down and out, but it'll stay with the Blue Demons.
Close call right there. Skogman just a transition, catch and shoot three. You call that a trailer big three right there. And just in transition, Enright just using his body to kind of shield off the defenders and give it to Skogman for a trailing big three-point shot.
Skogman a game-high 22 points. Also a DePaul season high for him. And Arun Sayer using his length on another play.
Arun Sayer, he is coming up with big plays. His plus-minus has to be in a big plus situation with how he's playing.
Joseph into the body. No finish, though. So stuck on a 1-point game halfway through the first overtime at a timeout. Called by Chris Holtman on the DePaul sideline. Kim English out to meet his team at half court, clenching his fists, flexing, saying, let's finish this one out. The first Big East game for Chris Holtman since he was the Butler head coach in 2017. Welcome back with this game, huh?
Well, he knows about Big East basketball. We know that. And he's done a good job in this game. Both coaches have done a good job with their chess moves on the board, going back and forth, being real strategic with certain lineups, being strategic with continuing to attack possessions that work and taking advantage of mismatches. Holtman has done an excellent job. Kim English, a young up-and-coming head coach, that is perfect for today's basketball athletes. He's showing his chess moves. They're both just going back, moving their rooks, moving the queen. They're trying to get this game right here, this Big East win.
All the pawns are off the table.
All the pawns are off the table. This is real strategic down the stretch here.
He's been stuck in a one-point game for a few minutes. 8 to shoot. Skogman with 5 to shoot. Facing up, down to 2 to go. Gotta get it up, he does, but it's off the back rim. Joseph has had a huge night. He came down with another rebound.
So close, good execution by the Blue Demons right there, getting the isolation. Skogman tries to take advantage, but good defense by the Friars. Game rebounding, switching every position. Rich Barron having to guard Skogman and doing a solid job making it difficult for him to score.
Providence's work blocked, but Joseph all the way rattles it down.
You know, Joseph is one of the guys that Coach English challenged that shoot-around, and he's responding well. And he told the young guys, Rich Barron, other guys, there's going to be opportunities for you to show me what you got, and Rich Barron is doing it defensively.
Joseph doing it with his floor game and his scoring. No turnovers in a 20-point night with 7 assists. Skogman jump stops in the lane and right for the tie. No. And the crash for Floyd. Inside a minute, Providence with a 1-possession lead.
And I said that Coach English is going to have to go back to the small line. I mean, he did coming down the stretch, and it's helping them defensively. Now it's about a quality shot. You got to get a good shot, try to draw a foul, get to the paint.
And trying to stretch it to a 2-possession lead. Hopkins powers in on Skogman, who throws his hands high, and it rolls down for Hopkins. Less than a half minute. DePaul's got to go fast, chasing 5. Gun, no. Hopkins the rebound. Wrestling for it on the baseline, and he's fouled.
Connor, the Friars have been so inconsistent in their play in the last several games. They did not have Bryce Hopkins at the beginning of the season, and they missed him. But right now, they have guys stepping up. I think they're finding their rhythm. Joseph as a scorer. And Bryce Hopkins, 15.5 points a game. They were missing his leadership, his scoring ability, his isolation. It is paying off. They needed it, and it is paying off for the Friars now. And you're talking about a guy who's still not in all the way form of where he was before he got hurt. But you love the way he's producing, only being 3 games back and missing 11 months of basketball.
Plus the emotion tonight of playing in front of a big crowd of friends and family from his hometown in Oak Park. And he's just made it a 7-point game.
And in every game, you're going to see Bryce Hopkins get better and better, get his legs under him, get his basketball conditioning. But in the meantime, him coming up with big plays, big buckets, hoping his team win, that helps you psychologically. That helps you mentally know that you're close to being back there.
And to know that you can play this deep into the game and effectively.
Right now, if you're the Blue Demons, you want to get this down court quick. You want to get a quick shot. You want to try to attack the rim and get a foul. But you don't want to have to necessarily search for a 3 right now. You want to get to the rim and then maybe make the Friars miscommunicate, then spray for a 3.
Down 7. Got to happen in a hurry for DePaul. Meyer going coast to coast.
That's
timeout for Chris Oldham.
That was perfect right there, Connor. Just go quick. Do not come down and waste time searching for 3s. Go as quick as possible. They got it back in the hands of Jacob Meyer, who was accelerating at a high speed in transition and getting right there with the acrobatic finish right there. Double pump finish. Now you pick up full court if you're the Blue Demons. You pick up full court. You play for the steal first. If you can't get the steal, then you foul.
And a night of wild, sporadic runs. DePaul hoping for another. Providence trailed this game, Dickie, by 8 points with 3:20 to go. It's a 20-7 run since then to force overtime and be on the doorstep of 1-0 in the Big East.
Yeah, and you know what changed the game for them to gain the advantage, the Friars? It was paint points. Plus 10 paint points, 30 to 20 in the paint, offset the three-point shooting of the Blue Demons.
Arun Saris had a big part of that. His first Big East game, 10 points with a bunch of dunks.
And most importantly, 3 block shots.
Providence facing some full court pressure. Get it into Joseph. Pierre flashes and he's fouled.
Good job by the Friars taking care of the ball, not panicking under duress of the Blue Demons' pressure. Blue Demons did a good job trying to create a steal on the first pass and knew that they had the foul as soon as that pass got out of the first one.
This is still a 1-and-1. There's the 9th team foul against DePaul. Pierre is 15 of 19 on the year at the free throw line. And he earns a second.
Pierre shooting 78% from the free throw line. Offensive production out of Jaden Pierre has been at a high level this season. 48% from the field, 43% from the three, and 78%, almost 80% from the free throw line.
And back to 7. The lead for Providence. Final 10 seconds. And Wright lobs it up to the rim. No, tapped away, and Providence 4 seconds away. Well, Providence gave up a 10-point lead in the first half, went down 10. Had to fight back from down 8 in the final 3:20. And after all that, in overtime, Providence comes back to go 1-0 in the Big East.
A well-balanced game, very competitive, going back and forth. Message delivered by Coach English at shoot-around. Message received, team responded.
Well, only one Big East game tonight and this week. It sure gave us a heck of a show.
Couldn't ask for anything better than this on the first Big East game and only Big East game of the night.
Well, Bryce Hopkins in his return back to his home area, a double-double, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Bensley Joseph, a 20-point night, and Providence wins it 70-63 in overtime. For Dickie Simpkins, I'm Connor Onion saying goodnight from Chicago. Providence 1-0 in the Big East.